Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In the previous tutorial, we discussed what is the framework, right? When we start designing the framework, what points we need to consider, right? So that our framework will be a very good framework and successful framework. Now, I'm going to show the implementation, how we design the automation framework. So this is the first video of the designing automation framework and the second video of the framework series. So this is already set up the Java, Selenium, as well as the Eclipse. So I'm not going to show how we will set up the these environments, right? So here I created one Maven-based project. So if you don't know how we create the Maven-based project, what is the prerequisite we need to set up, right? How we write the test cases of the Selenium, then you need to watch the previous tutorials of the Selenium WebDriver with Java, right? So here I will only go through and explain the framework, not the scripting, how we write the test script in Selenium by using Java. Okay, so you can see here I created some test script, right, by using the Selenium and Java without the framework, right? This is just a normal test engine test where directly I am adding the steps into the test script, right? Like this is my Selenium test script for the login into the Orange HRM application where I am navigating the Chrome driver. There are some implicit weight added, maximize the window, navigate the URL, enter the username and password, click on login button, verify the user login successfully and quit the execution. Second test cases I have here where I am logging into the application and verifying the dashboard, right? So what dashboard I'm verifying here, let me show you. So in this case, I'm verifying that all these menus are available, right? So verifying the menus. In the next test script, validating the widget menu, right? So here in the second test, I am verifying all these widgets are available, like my action, time work, quick launch, right? Budget post, employee on leave today. So all these widgets I am verifying in this test. Okay. Next test I have here the user management where I am creating the one user, and these test scripts are very straightforward, directly adding the steps uh, into the test script. Here you can see these 4 line of code is a common, right, throughout each and every test script. Right here you can see, and this is required. Launch the browser, navigate the URL, timeout, as well as the maximize window. Okay, so now this is the duplicacy of the code. In future, we need to change the browser, right? So it's very hard because we need to go and update in each and every test script. So this is the duplicacy. To reduce this duplicacy of the code, what we can do, because this is the common for each and every test script, so we can create a common file, Java file, where we can put this. So let's create a common file. Like here, I'm going to create a package com.framework, and here I am going to create a class. This is the base test. I am giving this name base test. Click on finish. Now each and every class we can extend base test, right? Import this class. Here we can extend. Here we can also extend, right? So now we have one base class where we are going to put the common code which we need for each and every test, right? So these code we can move into the base test. Also, we know some annotation of the test ng. If you don't know, you can watch my test ng series of the videos like we have before. method I am using here, suppose that, then creating setup method. And import this. So pom.xml file, there is a testng whose scope is mentioned only test. So I can remove this. So after that, we can get the testng will recognize under the src main folder, right? So now you can see I am able to import. Second method I can create after method, right? So this is method name I'm going to create, give the name tear down. And in this, just call the driver dot. Okay, so this driver we can make as an instance variable so that we can use throughout the classes, child classes as well as. So let's create a protected. Okay, now import this, and here driver dot quit method. Now I move the common code into the base test, right? Now I have already extended this base test into the login test. So now no need these 4 line of code as well as the driver.quit method. Okay, let's remove this and run the test. Okay, so one more thing, I created here the instance variable. So we need to remove this WebDriver here. Okay, now it will create the object and store in the driver object, and this we can use throughout the test. So now let me run the test and you will see it will work. Okay, run successfully. So if I run the other test, so here we need to also remove these 4 line of code along with the driver.quit method. Here we can also delete these 4 line of code with driver.quit. Okay, in the other test, user management, we can remove these 4 line of code and then driver.quit.
Okay, let's see here again. Like you can see that these username, password fields, buttons, click on login button and verify the login successfully. This code is also duplicate, right? In all the places you can see, in all the test script, we can see. So this is the duplicacy of the code, right? Even if we want to maintain, if we talk about the maintainability, so during the maintainability, if login field, username field locator change, then in that case we need to go and update in all the uh, test script, right? In that case, we need to update these locators in all the test script, right? Which will take some time, that is time consuming and not good maintainability approach. Now, if we create a function for the login and put in one place, and we can use that function in our test script where needed. So in that case, if in future you need to update anything, then we need to go and update only in that particular function, particular method, and it will be automatically reflect in each and every test script, right? So here the page object model concept come picture to resolve this duplicacy of the code, to redundancy of the codes, right? So how we do, what is the, okay, so what is the page object model concept? So page object model concept is a design pattern from where we are creating the pages file and putting the corresponding pages functions, right? So otherwise, if we put the function with some different approach, right, where we are creating files and library or something which is not logically mapped. Okay, in that case it's very hard to search the pages files, right? Like example, I created one library method pay class, right? And in that class we are keep putting all the methods. In that case, in future if we need it, right, that is not much readable format. So that's why here in the page object model concept, we are creating a separate pages files with the name of application page, and then putting the locators and function in that particular page. So let's see. So I'm going to create a package right here, com dot pages. In this pages, so first is the login page, right? When we open the application, okay, when we open the application, so first it's land on the login page. So let's create a page, login page. Okay, in the login page, we need to create a method login, right? Now in the login, these set of code we need, which will enter the username, password, and click on the login button and then verify user login successfully. So let's put this method. Okay, now the main one thing here, this driver object, this is created in the base test. When we create the Chrome driver object, okay, then this is created and stored in WebDriver object. So these are the child classes. That's why it automatically you get the object. But this page object, but these pages classes are the separate class, right? This is not inherited to the base test. So that's why here we need to pass the driver object. So two way we can use pass the driver object as an argument. A second, we can use a constructor. So best approach, we can create a constructor of the login page. Why we are going to create constructor? So that we can initialize the driver object. Okay, when we create a object of this page file. So created one variable. Let me create a private. This is the WebDriver variable, reference variable. And here in we can pass the create a constructor like with parameterized, where passing the WebDriver object. Then this driver equal to driver. This page is created. So now let's call this method in our login test. So in that case, first we need to create object of login page equal to new login page. Pass here the driver object and import the class. Then, so by using this login object, we can call the login method. And now we can remove these line of code. Okay, let me run the test. Yeah, login successfully. You can see this is running. Okay, here in this method, you can see I'm using this username as well as the password here hard coded in the method, right? So this is not good approach, because if we want to use this login method with some other users, right, then it will not work. So in that case, when we are creating the method, then always our method should be independent with the method, right? We need to create a generic method which we can use for multiple test data. So I am going to parameterize this username and password like this. Now, when we call this method, then we pass the username and password. What username and password we will pass, and that users it will use to log in the application. Okay. Okay. Next, in the login page, you can see the locator we are putting here. I'm putting in a hard coded in that method. Suppose that this locator we need to use some other places also. Like here we have one login with successful user. Maybe we have another method where I am going to validate the login form mandatory fields. Then again, we need to enter the values, right? We need this locator in other function also. So in that case, these locators are going to put as a duplicate, right? So in the page object model concept, if we are talking, we are creating the functions as well as the putting element locators in separate. So I will define the locator here, like here, user input, like this. We can separate the locator from the method and put in the string format. And now we can pass here the variable instead of the locator value. This is one approach, right? We can separate our locator by using the strings. Second approach, we can use by using by, okay? And then here I can put by dot name. By dot name I am using here. This is the input by. So now this complete we can replace with the by object. Okay, so here I'm putting the locator in the form of by, but Selenium WebDriver provides some annotation. Mostly we are using that particular annotation to put the element locators, right? So what is this? So it's provided at the rate find by, where we can put the locators. Here if we are going to use the name, so I will call the name and then locator, name value. Okay, and then let's create a variable private web element user input. Now this is the third way we can put the locators, and mostly generally we are using this approach. Other like string format as well as the by format, if you are using there is no issue, it will also work, right? So in that case, this complete, because this complete two line of code, find by name equal to username private web element user input, this is equivalent to driver dot find elements by dot name, right? This one. So let's remove this and put the locators here separately by using @ find by. Let's create other locator also here. Next is the password. So this is the password. So you password input. Okay. Now this password complete driver dot find element by dot tag name by dot name. This is replaced by the password input. Next is the button. This is the tag name, right? So this is button. Here we can put tag name. Okay. And this is the submit button. Let's replace this complete code with submit button. Next is the H6, right? So this is the also tag name. So I can use tag name. And then here I can pass header label. Okay. Now this complete code I can replace with the header label dot get text. Now the pages files login page is separated, the element locators as well as the function. So now in other method, if we need to use this login or password locator directly, we can use this like we are using here. So now in that case, our element locator is uniquely defined on the page. This is not duplicate on the page files. In future, if the login fields by locator got changed, so we need to come and update here only one place. It will be automatically reflect in all the test script, right? And if the login is some feature changes in the login functionality, then we need to come and update only in this method. It will automatically reflected in each and every test, right? Because we are calling this method in the test. Now, when we are creating the element locators in the form of find by, then we need to create the object by using page factory. So now object we will create like this, page factory dot, there is a init method. First argument need to pass the driver, and other second argument just pass the page class name like this. Okay, object is created. So if we are putting, remember, if we are putting the element locators in the form of find by, then in that case we need to use the page factory class to initialize the object. So when we are using the page factory, right, then it will automatically initialize these object. Otherwise we will get null pointer exception. So let me run now. Login runs successfully here. Now, this line of code we can replace in other tests, right? Like these lines of code will replace by this two line. Here we can replace and directly use the login method. Here we can also remove this. Okay. Now you can see here username and password I'm using in each and every test. So better we can put the username and password in as a variable here. And later I will show you how we change this, configure this in a config file. So let's now put here as a variable admin. Admin 123. So this is also as a string. Okay. Now in our test script, instead of hard coded the username, we can use the username and password, right? So let me replace this here. Okay, now similar type, if we have here the dashboard test, right? So all the activities like so here we are searching these, verifying these values, menus, right, from the dashboard page. So this activity also we are doing these, we are also doing from the dashboard. So next page is the dashboard page. So here you can see it looks like this. So we can create a dashboard page. And similar type, if I talk about the next page, because we are using user management page, so we can put user management page. Okay. So two pages I created. Similar type, if we have other pages like leave page, so I can create a leave page. Let me log in again. So we can create a leave page. We can create a time page, right? We can create a recruitment page, my info, performance, right? Directory, maintenance, budge. So all different kind of page we can create in our automation framework, and then put the corresponding locators as well as function in that particular page. Okay, so here first steps, we need to create a constructor in both pages, right? Because in each and every page we need a constructor. Right, this is the user management constructor, page constructor, right? Then I'm going to put the element locators as well as the function in this class of the user management page as well as the login dashboard page.
Okay, so now here I converted all the test scripts into the page object model concept, what I discussed, like user management, uh, like login page, as well as the dashboard page, right? I created the user management page where I have constructor of the user management page. And then these are the element locators which we are using for these, right? And here one is the method create a user. So these data I am passing from the I will as a parameter, because here if I use the hard coded value, right, then in that case it will work only for one data. So when we are creating our function, our method into the pages files, then we need to make sure our function should not depend on any data, right? Data we need to pass from the test script when we call these methods. Like here, create user method created. So if I go in user management page, so here calling user management page, create a user, passing these details, right? And you can see also the object of the pages I am creating by using the page factory. So just because I have element locators added here in the form of find by. Okay. So in this way, we can separate our element locators as well as the function from the test script, and we can put in a page object model right in the corresponding pages file. So it now it's uniquely defined. Like suppose that if anywhere we want to create a user, we always use this method, right? So again, locator is available here, like add button or other element locators. So in the test script, if we need these locators again, right, then we will just call this into the corresponding method, right? So in this page file, if we need the add button locators again for any particular method or any other method, then we are not going to create a locators here separately. We always use this, right? So locator is uniquely defined here. So in case in the future, if this locator element is got changed from the UI, then we need to update only one place. It will be automatically reflected in all the places, right, where we are using this. Similar type, now you can see here the login is defined here. So even in the login functionality or the login element locators is getting changed. So in that case, we need to update only one place, right? So maintenance takes less time, right? It's lower the cost when we are using this concept. Let me run some test. Like I'm going to run the dashboard, test both test. So running. Username, password, login and closed after verification. So here you can see in the validate menus, our data is on the test script, right? What we are going to verify. Just capturing all these values from the pages files from the dashboard, storing in a test script in a variable, and then verifying that this in a test script, right? So our method is independent with the data. Similar type I am doing here, created the list of the widgets and then capturing from the UI and verifying the both expected and actual value. Now you can see test run successfully, both tests run successfully. Okay. Now in the application, right, I created the two pages, three pages. First is login, second is the dashboard. So now if we need to create any functions or locators, suppose that for the dashboard, so in that case, that method and locator, we will use the dashboard page and if we will create here. Okay, so when we are using the page object model concept, one of the benefits, like when we are working with multiple team members, it's very easy to understand which method is created or not, right? Like suppose that if we want to see, we have verifying these quick launches or we have method to click on these quick launches button or not. In that case, because this is a part of dashboard, so only one on in the page dashboard, I will go or other team members will go and check. If that is not created, he will create. And if created already, he will use the method in his their test script. Right? We will not go check in other pages files. Further, if we want to create a more page, like we have leave, right? So we can create pages for the leave. Okay. We have time, so we can create a time page dot Java file. We have a recruitment page we can create. So based on the applications, right, we need to decide and create the page so that we can separate the element locators as well as the function from the test script. Okay, hope you understand what is the page object model concept, how we are using, right? And if you have any query, you can leave a comment and subscribe the channel. Click on the bell icon so that you can get latest videos notification. Also, share this tutorial to your friends and colleagues. Thanks for watching the video, and let's meet in the next tutorial where I will show how we configure, how we put the configuration data separate from the test script in other files. So in the next tutorial, we will discuss this. Okay, let's meet in the next tutorial.